Yes, good luck with that. Now, as a young businesswoman releases a book offering men advice on how to woo women, we ask, have men lost the art of seduction?
Well, joining us now is the lady in question, Kezia Noble, and she's joined by journalist Piers Honey, who thinks that women just don't know what they want. And we'll start first of all with you, Kezia, if that's okay. You were actually spotted in a bar, weren't you? This all started there.
That's how it all began.
What happened?
I was being chatted up by a couple of men, and a man noticed that I was being chatted up, and he came up to me and he said, I'm doing some workshops and events and boot camps that help men attract women.
Didn't you think, he's chatting me up?
Of course I did. But then he went into a lot more detail, and I could see that it was the real deal, what was going on. And he said, look, we need some girls to give some feedback to our students who are learning all these techniques and systems. And I was like most girls, like a complete skeptic, thinking, you know, chemistry either happens or it doesn't. You can't force it. But when I went to this event, I saw two things. First of all, that there are techniques and systems that really do work. And secondly, there was a lack of honest female advice to these men.
And this is what you provide. You are very honest, sometimes quite blunt, but what you do does achieve great results, I guess.
Yes, very good results.
So you're guaranteeing a good night, are you? I mean, you're saying that with my technique, you see a girl at a bar and without question, bingo, it's going to work.
No, you can never have a 100% guarantee in anything. I mean, I can increase the guy's chances dramatically. So whatever results he's getting at that moment, I will take it to the next level.
So why do you think we now need your services? Why do you think we now need to read your book? Why is that? Have we just kind of over the years, because this is something that sort of, I'm thinking like 30, 50 years ago was just natural. It was something way more natural, but now you're here, so obviously we need a bit of help. Men do.
Okay, yeah, exactly. It's just for men. That's all I teach. I don't teach women how to seduce. The reason being, as you said, 30, 40 years ago, they didn't need these techniques, but look at the role models that they had. They had very clear role models. They had very alpha men on their movie screens. They had, you know, Richard Burton, they had Oliver Reed, they had these very, very alpha men. But now they've got these, like, no disrespect to him, but Hugh Grant and this kind of more metrosexual, self-deprecating men as role models. And they're thinking, do I go for this, or do I go for, like, to be like the bad guy, like Mickey Rourke? What do I do here? So it's really confusing right now. And women obviously are getting much, much more powerful, much more confident.
Don't women see, you know, they're like the bad guy for, you know, sort of a brief encounter, but the metrosexual caring man is more long-term. Is that right?
It is more long-term, but you have to give the guy the chance to begin with. So if he's expressing all this, like he's this sort of lovey-dovey, caring guy straight away, then the girl feels, well, there's not a lot of challenge, actually. She wants to get to that point.
What are the lines that work, then? What do you say? What do you do?
Okay, I usually try not to go for lines. I try and use more advanced techniques. But if a guy out there says, look, I really want to know a line that's good to approach a group of women, then I say, well, try the opinion opener, relationship opinion opener. So you've got this friend, he's going to be there in 5 minutes, and he's going to propose to this girl, and you really need some advice here because you don't like this girl at all, and you don't want to tell him that because it might upset him, but you think he's doing the wrong thing. And women love to give relationship advice. So you get all these women like giving their points of views, and from there he can escalate the conversation to...
And then when his mate doesn't arrive in 10 minutes, you think, he's a liar.
By then he would have used all my techniques and she would have forgotten about what the open even was.
OK. And what about doing something absolutely wrong? What is the wrong thing to do when you approach a woman?
Don't over-compliment her.
Really?
Yeah.
It does. I don't know. I do agree with that because it does slightly freak you out. You're like, A, what are you after? B, you're checking see if your handbag's still there because you're thinking, what are you up to? Or you just sort of don't trust them, or you think you might do this all the time. You're just a bit smooth.
So when you walk up to someone and say, my goodness me, you've got very beautiful eyes, is that not the right thing to say?
Beautiful eyes. I mean, how many times have you heard guys, because you do have beautiful eyes, but how many guys have said that to you?
I don't know.
Quite a lot, let's be honest, and I get it also, and I think, well, you've made absolutely zero effort there to say anything different, anything that's going to make any impact. So if they pick something that's slightly more detailed and tailor-made, then
it does depend who they are, though. It depends on the guy, I think, because there's a certain type of guy that could come and say that and it would be lovely. And then there's a certain time you just go, not sure about you.
What are you thinking listening to all of this?
Piers?
Well, I think the reason that Kezia's business is up and running and doing so well is because there is a genuine demand for it. Men in the modern era are very confused and intimidated by women. And, you know, this is a result of the ongoing feminist movement, which started 50 years ago. But in the last 15 years, women have been particularly empowered by programmes like Sex in the City and various magazines and books and newspaper articles. And in the music business as well. And it's led them to be very aggressive, quite dominant, and over-empowered in many ways, leading men to think, well, I really don't know what approach to take with that kind of woman, and if I happen to get it wrong, she's going to be quite ruthless in humiliating me and making me look like and look and feel really rather wretched. So I'm not going to do it. I'm going to back off. I'm not going to even risk it.
Do women set their sights too high? I think you look at the movies, you think, you know, the perfect guy's going to arrive, and, you know, you could be looking forever for him.
I think women certainly set their sights too high and have been encouraged to do so by the media. They go out to their local pub and expect it to be like an episode of Sex in the City, when the truth is it's going to be like an episode of Coronation Street. You know, they've got to be more realistic. The guy from the Diet Pepsi advert isn't going to walk in the door and give her the absolute killer lines and she's going to swoon and be taken home and romanced and made love to.
Therefore, if Kezia is here giving advice to men, what would you say to women then? What would you say is the best thing to do?
I would say to women, especially in Britain as well, you know, you've wanted equality in terms of sex and relationships and careers and salaries. Well, why don't you have a bit of equality in terms of buying us a drink, paying for dinner, or making the first move? No, you don't. You want the equality when it suits you, but you don't want to do the grubby, difficult, embarrassing stuff, which is...
You said that this morning in the makeup room.
I said we want options. I said we want to opt in and opt out depending on the... If I've got a flat tyre, I'm a girl.
You want the good bits of equality, but you don't want the bad bits of equality.
I'll give you that.
Which I can understand why women wouldn't want to pay for drinks and food and make the first move, because the first move is fraught with difficulty.
Have you?
Always. My entire life. I've never actually...
well, you're unusual, I think.
No, do you know what? I don't think I am. I actually think women, a lot of my girlfriends were all the same. We very, very rarely have a man come up to us.
Yeah.
I mean, now I'm married. I'm talking about, like...
That's my whole
years
point.
Before.
They're not coming up to women anymore.
Well,
I see beautiful women in London nightclubs. No one's approaching them. It's happening in America. Guys approach me a lot more in America than in
But they have a much
England.
more dating culture in America.
And they have
in the UK, we really don't have that.
But aren't guys just thinking, oh, there's no point going over there. She is way out of my league.
That's terrible. So that means they've got a negative state of mind straight away, and that's why a lot of guys get approach anxiety, which is something I also help with. How to destroy approach anxiety. It's one of the biggest reasons why guys won't go talk to a woman. He's already sitting there saying it's game over before he's even spoken to her.
Well, yeah, sure.
Do you agree with that?
Yes, I mean, there's just it's fraught with difficulties in the modern era, and it's just easier to go home alone, really, than risk sort of the terrible blow to self-confidence you get from a nasty no.
Got to be in it to win it.
Here's some emails for you. Men have definitely lost the art of seduction. When my partner wants sex, I get simply asked, can we have sex? So no, I say, make an effort.
And he says, British men have not lost the art of seduction, but with the advent of budget airlines, we can fly abroad and seduce someone better looking and without the attitude. That's outrageous.
Men have a sense of humour.
Men haven't lost the art of seduction. Women have lost interest. This is the book. There you go. 15 steps to be becoming a master seducer. And if you do try this out, then let us know how you get on. And thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you both. Still to come, MasterChef star Stacey Stewart.